Rachel Geller, it is so great to have you back. You are a fountain of so much wisdom, but also positivity and optimism for people and their cats. Your new book, All Cats All the Time, More of What I Know About Cats, which is also the name of your nonprofit, kind of covers everything. It has a chapter in it which I was unfamiliar with the name of it. Now, I understand the syndrome, if you will, but it's called Feline Non-Recognition Syndrome. And I didn't know that was the name of the phenomenon. So it does happen to people, not infrequently. Let's talk about it. And you describe what it is.
So, feline non-recognition syndrome, or it's also sometimes known as feline non-recognition aggression, happens when two companion cats suddenly turn on each other because they no longer recognize each other. And typically, this happens when one cat goes to the vet, the other cat remains home. Maybe one cat, if they're indoor cats, maybe one cat escaped, the other cat remained home. Maybe one cat went to the groomer, the other cat remained home. So it's always situations where the cats become separated, but when the returning cat comes back, he now smells like, for example, if he comes back from the vet, he may smell like medicine.
Mm,
He may smell like other cats, other animals, veterinarians, alcohol. There are so many
right.
different smells that now this cat is emitting. And since cats recognize each other by scent and not by visuals, that cat who stayed home may be thinking, you look like my companion, but you do not smell like my companion. So I fear that you are an imposter. And then this is where aggression and fear can rear its ugly head and really ruin that cat to cat relationship.
It's a subtle riff on the problem of cats having redirected aggression, which was a phenomenon that I know about, which is the two cats are in your living room and one looks out the window, sees something scary, usually somebody else's cat, and they get so, if you will, riled up about it, they turn on their friend who's standing or sitting right next to them just because they want to go after the cat that's outside. Now the cat who's been aggressed on is going to bear a grudge. You have a problem. But that's different than this point you bring up, which is they smell different. I think one of the things that we don't think about is that our hands have a lot of odor. So when we touch a cat, the cat now goes away with that odor and they're going to pretty soon want to lick it off and clean themselves up. But if our cat has been in whatever situation of being touched by strangers, whether it's a vet tech, somebody else in the waiting room at the vet, or at the groomer, as you said, that now changes the whole odor of the cat. The cat is no longer who he or she was. They're wearing this cloak of unfamiliarity. And
Yes,
it's
yeah. And not only that, if you think about when the cat goes to the groomer, we can probably wipe down the fur and ease that process along. But if you have a cat on chemotherapy, or the cat got
right.
an injection of silencia, or the cat
Yes.
got a rabies vaccine, these are odors that are going to remain in that cat system for quite some time. So it really demands more intervention by us to get these cats to reacclimate to each other.
And as you say in your book, it seems illogical to us because look, it's Fluff. Fluff, you've been with Fluff your whole life. In fact, Fluff's your brother. But Fluff doesn't smell like Fluff, which means Fluff is not Fluff. Oh, is it
Yes,
Mr. Ripley? Who is this guy? I don't trust him.
it's
So
hard for us to
it
understand,
is.
right? Because I look at you, I know that you're you.
Yes,
And you may
yes,
wear a new perfume, but to me, you're still you.
that's
But the
right.
cat's dominant way of integrating a relationship into her life and knowing who is through scent and not from what they look like.
And if they've been touched by another animal, let's say the dog, maybe not the dog you all live with, because then that's a familiar smell, but maybe they've been shaved, maybe some part a little bit, maybe they had a mat, maybe they had to, even at the groomer, have their hair shaved a bit. Even the blades of the shaving thing or the oil on the shaver or whatever was there It smells, and it smell different. You recommend a complete reintroduction as if they are complete strangers. It's a little bit of a heavy lift for the owners. Oh, come on. I only went to the groomer, I only went to the vet, he only needed his teeth looked at. God forbid you have your teeth cleaned. That must really smell different, right?
So here's the thing. If you've never had this happen before and things really went off the rails, your cats are really fighting, they're going at each other, it's not getting any better. Yes, I absolutely recommend to do a complete reintroduction, which is a little bit of work, but it's worth it because we can definitely bring your cats back to tolerance and to loving each other
Yeah.
again. But here's the even better thing. If we know ahead of time, if the veterinarian warns the client this could happen, or
Right.
you've been through it before, now you can set yourself up so it will not happen in the first place. So, for example, instead of coming back home and letting the cat out from the carrier to go greet his companion, we take that cat directly to a separate room. We close the door, we let the cat out of the carrier, and we start with rubbing the cat down with a towel. We can go to the cat who stayed home, rub that cat a little bit, go back and rub the other cat a little bit, rub me a little bit, keep mixing
Right.
all the right. We can be preemptive and slowly introduce that cat back because now we know. So, yes, if we had no idea and things are at the point where fur is flying and they really hate each other, we just can't get them out of that cycle. You probably do need to do a complete reintroduction, and that's in the book. But if you've been forewarned, if you've been educated about this
Right.
possibility, you can definitely do things to preempt it. And then even if you do need to do a bit of a reintroduction, it can probably be much shorter and
Right.
not right and not as detailed as if it really went off the rails.
And the detailed description is in all cats all the time. It's also in my book, The Cat Bible, and we hope that people know it. You can't just introduce two strangers or reintroduce two cats. With, as you said, you have to have the presumption that it's not going to feel right to them. They're
Yes.
going to feel odd with each other, and that's an unnatural feeling for them, especially if they have lived companionably before. I suppose also we could recommend having really high value treats like little dried salmon or liver or whatever, chicken are your best little freeze dried treats. And when you, after you've rubbed them both with a towel, to kind of commingle their odors and then rub your own arms and hands, throw a little,
Yes.
as Rachel said, throw a little of yourself in the soup. Then when you bring them back together, maybe scatter a few really super delicious, not pieces of kibble, because we don't feed kibble anyway, but something really good so that when they see each other again, they're like, hi, oh, wait, look what's over there. And so now it's like a positive association with a moment of yike. Who are you?
Yes. Anytime that we can use food, food is very motivating for most cats. And anytime we can get the cat to think, hey, now that I think about it, every time there was this wonderful high value treat, this
Yes,
other cat is around. Perhaps this other cat is not so bad after all. So it's
right.
a good way to facilitate the process and move it along. That scent swapping, food, group play, things that a cat might find pleasurable. All of these things aid and abet the relationship to come back together. And the key is knowing that this
That's
is a
right.
possibility that this can happen. So many of my clients had no idea. They weren't informed about it. They had no idea what it was. And they kept thinking it will get better, but it doesn't. The rule of thumb when it comes to cats is never put two cats together who are fighting and expect them to resolve their differences. It
That's right.
just never works out.
No, and they have a long memory. They say elephants have a long memory, but cats have a long memory. And if you upset, frighten, or offend you, a human, or you, another cat, a cat, it's not even bearing a grudge. It's just they hold on to that information. It's part of their survival. It's part of their ability to feel safe. It's, I don't know. This is not feeling right to me, and I'm not going to just jump in with both feet. Rachel, I think that as always with everything that you do and all the lucky people for whom you give such great free, gratis advice on how to resolve issues with their cats, it's really wonderful to be able to say, just remember, if that cat, one of your cats, goes elsewhere, just by going elsewhere, guaranteed to bring home a different scent, and that's something you want to be preemptive about. Plan ahead. I find it even with my dogs. If I leave one dog home, which I try not to do, I try to take however many dogs I have in my case to the vet together. So it's like a family event, and whoever isn't being visited thinks this isn't so bad. And so they always like the vet, but that's not a cat. It's a different story. But when I bring one back and the other one stayed home, it's not dissimilar. The hackles go up, they get very upright and rigid, and they go, "Whoa, where have you been? Who are you?" And it's very unfriendly to dogs who've known each other forever. So it even holds true for dogs, and cats are more sensitive. They just
They are. And think if you're a first-time cat owner, it's very unsettling.
That's
You don't
right.
know what to do, and you assume they'll work it out, and the opposite happens. And then I'll get a phone call or an email. Help! I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what
Yes.
to do.
And the,
Yes.
and the longer you let them be at each other's throat, if you will, the longer that they are enemies, the more chronic it will become. So,
Yes, if that's going on more than 3 to 5 days, we are definitely looking at a structured reintroduction.
yeah,
And yes, it's more steps than you were ready for, but now it won't happen again. And just rest assured that we can bring your cats back to a loving
definitely.
relationship once
And
again.
they'll recognize each other and give each other a high five.
They will.
Paws up. Thank you so much, Rachel Geller, and for your book, All Cats All the Time, More of What I Know About Cats. It's really a wonderful book. It has simple, clear, extremely valuable advice. Thank you so much, sweetie. You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.